What up, doe? What up, doe? This is Detroit Mail here with another video short. And before I get started, we gotta go to the preliminaries. So if you on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel, ILW Sports on YouTube. Please like and share, subscribe, hit that notification bell just in case we drop new videos. You could be notified when we drop new videos. Facebook. We have our own Facebook network. We have created that for you to, if you have something to sell, you can network at. If you have a hot take, it's there for you to drop a hot take or just a hot topic you want to talk about, breaking news, anything sports related. Please go to our Facebook page, ILW Network, and become a member. And please drop a hot take or whatever you like to do on that page. Also, we are on Twitter, Twitch, IG. Am I forgetting anything? Twitter, Twitch, IG. That's everything. Oh, and TikTok. So you look for us, ILW Sports. Look under that, and we should see us on all those platforms. We drop our shorts there, give you a little preview of what the show was about on Monday and Tuesday, or sometimes we just drop a little extra stuff. Also, scrolling at the bottom, as you see it right there, you see these nice hats right here. If you go to that Cash App right there and give us an address, we will send you one of these hats for $30. Inexpensive for such a beautiful hat. Snapback, nice and comfortable. Now we got that out of the way. Let's get into today's topic. Today we're going to talk about Brett Favre. I don't know if anyone heard, Brett Favre is in legal trouble, man. It's interesting when you hear Brett Favre, he was talking about, oh, I don't like do politics and sports and mix together. But Brett Favre has something to say about the George Floyd thing. And I'm gonna play that clip so you can see it.
I find it hard to believe, first of all, that he intentionally meant to kill George Floyd. I mean, I don't know what led to that video that we saw where his knee is on his neck. I know when I turn on a game, I want to watch a game. I want to watch players play. I don't think that we should defund the police in no way, shape, or form. I don't think we should remove.
Really loves using his platform as an NFL quarterback to dabble in politics.
I'm kind of old school. I think you play, you get paid a ton of money to do a certain job, and just do it and let the chips fall where they may. I think we make too much money to voice an opinion.
Ironic coming from Favre.
So a couple of things in that clip. First thing you heard him talk about the George Floyd incident. He said he don't think that Derek Chauvin meant to kill George Floyd. Now, regardless what you feel about whether George Floyd was right or wrong with passing counterfeit money, whatever the case may be, to me that's irrelevant. Some people like to stick on that. Well, he was passing counterfeit money, whether that was true or not, whatever. That's irrelevant. The relevant part is that there's nowhere in police training where you have to put your foot on a man's neck that long. Once the threat is neutralized, you're supposed to secure him, cuff him, put him in the back of the car. Plain and simple. That's plain and simple to that. So to say, for Mr. Favre to say that he doesn't think that he intended to harm or to kill that man, to me is insanity. Now he has a better argument in saying that he may not start off that way. I disagree with him, but he have a better argument with that and then escalate to that. However, to say that you don't think that was his intent, where there's nowhere in his training where he should be putting a knee in his neck and the man is telling you he can't breathe. He's telling you can't breathe. That's already telling you right there he's uncomfortable. But another point to that video, defunding the police. That is so nowhere where they're talking about getting rid of police completely. That is not what defunding the police means. So, because in the video he mentioned that we don't think we should get rid of the police. That's not what it means. Whether or not you disagree with, what defunding the police, what the concept is, to me, you are being disingenuous while not presenting what it really means. What it really means is that any funds that is not used for police work or unnecessary things such as tanks, such as buying stuff that police barely use or anything like that, it should be allocated towards other things. Like if you have someone that's maybe mentally challenged, paying a psychologist or psychiatrist or a mental health professional to go and deal with that versus sending a police officer who is not trained to deal with a mental health. And they're not trained to deal with mental health. They're not trained to deal with someone who is mentally challenged. So what they're going to do is go out there and do what they're trained for. And it's not a right or wrong thing, because if they're trained for subduing somebody, they're trained for, going there and if the person is unruly to cuff them, that's what they train for. So why send someone that's not qualified to somewhere that they don't have the expertise to do? So defunding the police is basically just saying those funds that's allocated to like tanks, to like military equipment that a police department necessarily doesn't need, put that money somewhere else. It's not telling you to cut salaries. It's not telling you to start reducing the amount of police officers you have. It's not telling you that you need to get rid of the police department. It's telling you that thinking smart about the funds that you are using and allocate them to different places. That's all it's saying. Because you look at sometimes when they go into these communities, they have on military type equipment. And sometimes that's not even necessary. And so that's what defunding the police is about. So he's being just generous. And he's saying as a player, you should just basically shut up and dribble narrative. Basically, that's what he's saying in a nutshell. I'm pulling these out, so I'm getting to a point. And he said, then another segment, he said something about when he watched the football game, all he wanted to do is just watch a game. I believe I was referring to Colin Kaepernick incident. Just watch the game. I don't want to say all this political thing. Now, it's interesting that Mr. Favre used his platform later on and started talking about political issues. Favre was promoting a drug called Prevacus, which kind of dealt with CTE and it attacked it at the cellular level.
I'm talking to Dr. Amalu, who Will Smith portrayed in the movie Concussion. He said, "How many do you think you have?" I said, "I think I had 2. He said, "How many times did you get sacked and you had ringing in your ears?" I said, "I can't tell you how many times." And he goes, "Those are concussions."
Now that's him on a podcast talking about concussions and pushing this drug called Prevacus. Why is that interesting? Just bear with me. I'm laying this out for you. I want you to see this. I want to do it slow so you won't miss anything. But he went on a show and he pushed this drug called Prevacus. Significant. Now this is very significant. Now we go on to this next video and you'll see how this is starting to unfold.
Officials in Mississippi are now threatening to sue one of Mississippi's favorite sons, Brett Favre. An auditor there says the Southern Miss hero and former NFL star still owes more than $800,000 in welfare funds that he received for speeches that he never gave.
Now, why did I show that video? This is why. If you look here, Brett Favre and the governor of Mississippi, Phil Bryant, went to the Department of Human Services, asked them to have a meeting. And in this meeting, they wanted to discuss concussion research. So this is what the meeting's supposed to be about. So the governor, Brett Favre, Department of Human Services of Michigan. Brett Favre, the governor, and Department of Human Services of Mississippi sat down to discuss about concussion research. Now, you see Brett Favre pushing this Prevacus. Now, behind that, you see that he's having this meeting. and all of a sudden he's being sued. So how's this tie together? Let's go a little further. So the governor, Phil Bryant, decided that he was going to get some funding for this drug, Prevacus. So what did he do? First, he went to Mississippi Department of Human Services. Next, he gets this nonprofit involved, and the nonprofit, two people, I think it was Nancy New and her son, they indicted for embezzlement. So how's that fits together? So they get indicted for embezzlement because what they end up doing was the governor gets a kickback, or actually gets stock options from this drug Prevacus. So Brett Favre, the governor, and now this nonprofit is in cahoots together to make some money. So Brett Favre gets the money from Department of Human Services, and what he's through the behest of the governor. The governor went to them, asked them to give money for Brett Favre for speech and engagements, autograph signings, and other speeches he's supposed to give, which Brett Favre never showed up, never done. So services that wasn't rendered, and that's what the other video is talking about. So that's why he's being sued for that money, because he never performed the services. But if you go deeper, you see that this money that they was getting was money that's for Mississippi's needy families, and they took that money and embezzled it. So now you have two things going on at one time. You have the governor and Brett Favre getting money from Mississippi welfare. So Brett Favre basically getting welfare checks. He's getting welfare checks, and you hear all these people talk, these poor people on welfare, we need to cut welfare. Here's a man who played football and made money. He's getting welfare checks. Now I know what you're gonna say. That's being a little disingenuous while saying that, because it's like he went and applied for welfare. However, he was getting money that was allocated for other people who were supposed to be in poverty, getting sent to him, and on top of that, he never performed the services for he's supposed to do anyway. So he was out of line with that. So then he finally get caught and promised to pay the money back. He pays back half of it, and we don't hear from Favre for a while until pressure start coming on, and they start pressuring him, and reporter gets involved. So then Favre decides, oh yeah, I must forget, and he pays the rest of it, but doesn't pay the interest. So the lawsuit can still be out there because he still owes money based on the interest, because he didn't take the time to pay the money. So now interest had collected. So now you got Nancy and Zach Drew, the owners of the nonprofit. They plead guilty. So now they talking. And what they saying? This money they had was taxpayers' money, because they're nonprofit. So they was getting the money from taxpayers. They took $2 million, over $2 million, and these are welfare dollars. And they made personal investment into Prevacus. Remember that company I was telling you about? They took money and invested into Prevacus. So now here you got Brett Favre pushing Prevacus. You have the governor of Mississippi getting stocks in Prevacus. So he has a vested interest for the drug to do well. Now you have this nonprofit, Nancy and Zach Drew, who invests in Prevacus. So now they're saying in court documents. So Nancy's saying in court documents that she was directed to give Brett Favre $1.1 million to Brett Favre for speaking engagements, for keynote speaking, for radio promotional events. So now here's how they're embezzling money. And also for business partner development. The News, who is Nancy and Zach, and 37 other defendants. So it's not just Brett Favre, the mayor, and this the news. It's also 37 other defendants, who includes Ted DiBiase Jr. into this, who's part of this. It says in the document that Brett Favre violated federal rules when they received and spent money from a federal block grant called Temporary Assistance for Needy Families. And I know you know what that is. You know, you fill out applications and stuff, and it asks you those. So you might doing a survey. It says, do you receive TANF? And do you receive food stamps? That's what this is right here. It says temporary assistance for needy families. So now in more court documents being revealed that they paid $5 million in cash to build a state-of-the-art volleyball facility at the University of Southern Mississippi campus. Why is that significant? Because that's the campus where Brett Favre's daughter plays volleyball. They received more than $65 million and only spent 5% of that to poor families. So now let's wrap this up. So now you have Governor Bryant, who's being pressed on the allegation about a text message that he had between him and Favre. And on the text messages, they're talking about receiving these public funds, and they're talking about receiving the stock options, and they're talking about the volleyball court. So then when a reporter had pressed him on it, Governor Brown was like, oh, well, I didn't read my text messages real closely, so I didn't realize that's where the money is coming from. There's a lot of text message between the governor and Brett Favre. So this is very incriminating. So I just think this is very interesting how you're not hearing a lot about this Brett Favre incident, and you're hearing a lot about Deshaun Watson. Now, I'm not comparing one to the other as far as who's worse, what's worse, because, you know, if you listen to our show, I think that what's going on with Deshaun Watson is a lot of BS, because he went to criminal court, they couldn't find enough evidence. They went to civil court, and all the civil court has been settled. If you look at what's been said, now I'm gonna go about what I read. So, like I said before on the show, and I stand on it until I see anything different. There's nothing you see in the paperwork and the court documents that said Deshaun Watson forced himself. He kidnapped somebody. He held somebody against their will. He forced himself on somebody. You'll hear nothing about that. No violence towards him. Now, you hear about some sexual misconduct, and I agree that it's wrong. I agree that if it's sexual misconduct, you know, it should be some kind of punishment, but I don't think it should be a year suspension. I don't think it should get this kind of flack that's getting from other people. You know, if he's guilty of something, he's guilty of being a freak. You know, and he's guilty of something. He's guilty of being a freak. That's it. You know, based on what I seen, there's more to it. Like I said, there's more to it. If I see it, then I'll make the correction. But until what I seen, I haven't seen anything to me that sees that as criminal. Now, you go into what the NFL is doing. The NFL is saying, well, we're getting you for conduct, and I'm paraphrasing, I can't remember how they word. I think conduct detrimental to NFL or going against NFL policy, whatever. So my point, when I look at that, I'm looking at, well, what is your policy towards punishment for this particular incident? Because it don't seem like there's a direct punishment or correlation between punishment and policy, because you got an outside person. You brought an outside person in to, look over the facts and make a ruling. They make a ruling, and because you're not satisfied with that ruling, you appeal that ruling and try to go for more time. So what does the policy say in the NFL? In the NFL's policy book, what does it say the punishment is for what he done? Because now that's what we govern him under. We're not govern him under the law, because the law said there's not enough evidence to convict him. So he's not even governed under the law no more. Now it's all about the NFL. And I think that it's interesting how Brett Favre can go in and take money from needy people. Brett Favre can, have an incident where he's doing stuff that's inappropriate to women. Where's his game suspension? He's sending inappropriate picture, unwanted inappropriate picture to women while he was playing. This wasn't doing while he's retired. Where's his game suspension? And my point is not to that's what I want to say. My point is not to say, oh, well, Brett Favre is worse than Deshaun. Deshaun's worse than Brett Favre. That's not even my point. My bigger issue is that we need to look at how the media is manipulating things and think for ourselves. Because for me, if Deshaun Watson is guilty of sexual misconduct and he's getting coverage, not only in sports, he's getting coverage on regular news, he's getting coverage on nightly news, he's getting coverage on everybody's talk show. I mean, you're hearing about Deshaun Watson everywhere. How many of you heard this Brett Favre incident? Not many. Not many at all. And that's more my point, is that how we are being manipulated by the media, and we need to wake up and think for ourselves. And one thing I'm gonna always do on this show is I like to attack issues that are like this and talk about them. And and if someone has another opinion, let's talk about it. We're not gonna be in no beef over it. We're not gonna be arguing over it. Let's have a discussion. Because when people get together and have a discussion, we all can learn. Because I see it one way, and it might be something outside of my purview that I don't see. And I can learn something. Or someone can hear what I'm saying that's outside their purview, and they can learn something. But to get on Twitter and have Twitter beats and stuff like that, to me, that's idiocy. That's stupid. Let's learn from each other. Let's grow from each other. There's enough stuff going out there where people are being violent towards each other and not learning from each other. Let's learn from each other. Our platform, we want to use this platform to grow not only our stuff, not our show, our network, but to grow as people, to grow as human beings, to grow as in humanity. But that's it, man. I'm not going on a long rant. I just wanted to bring that out, talk about it real quick. And every Sunday or Monday, one of those days, whichever days I'm free, I'm gonna do like these little commentaries on different topics. I'm gonna try to keep them short and sweet. This one was a little longer because of the information. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like our page, hit that notification button on YouTube, and please, tell a friend. We go live every Monday at 4:00 and every Thursday at 4:00. We stream live to Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. So tell a friend, man. We're trying to build something here. And if you have a show idea and you want to be part of our network, we cover general sports, but we want to be niched down. So if you want to just do NBA, and man, come be a part of our show. You want to just do NASCAR, come be part of our network. Soccer, whatever, or football, whichever sport, hockey, we want to build a online media conglomerate. But that's it, man. Until Monday at 4:00, we catch you next time. Peace.